Okay, Geoff, aside from Newton Freeman, were there any other surprise cuts for you?
Yeah, John Brown of the Vegas Raiders. I mean, this one was, everyone was touting him as the guy. Oh, he's going to replace Nelson Aguilar. Nelson Aguilar led the Raiders in targets last year among all wide receivers. This guy's also a speedy wide receiver. We've seen him perform well in certain spots, especially with the Bills. Didn't even make the team. And this has big news because you look down the Raiders wide receiver chart. And okay, Henry Ruggs, everyone likes him. He's a first-round draft pick. Bryan Edwards, their second pick from last year, wide receiver. People just forget about him. This guy's been highly touted all preseason. He's locked into a starting role. The Raiders are so comfortable with Bryan Edwards, they didn't even play him in the preseason, basically. So I really feel like Bryan Edwards has a ton of value right now. He's more suited to the wide receiver one role than Henry Ruggs, who's more of a speed guy. I think the John Brown release speaks huge volumes to how confident the Raiders are with Bryan Edwards. And I think this guy's probably going to lead their wide receiver crew in touches. So just like I said with Jakobi Meyers, you could be starting this guy as a wide receiver 3 in your season-long fantasy drafts by the end of the year. It might even be sooner with Bryan Edwards because there's really no one else there. He doesn't have to vault over anyone on the depth chart. Obviously, Darren Waller's there, but I think that John Brown release was big news for Bryan Edwards' fantasy value.
AJ, what about you? Any other surprise cuts for you?
Yeah, outside of Brown, the other guy for me was Breshad Perriman for Detroit. Obviously, we're not expecting a ton out of the Lions this year, but I do think there were still opportunities in DFS to maybe look at some of their wide receivers. And so for me, obviously the biggest news is that Tyrell Williams appears to have cemented himself as the number one guy here and should get the lion's share, no pun intended, of the targets here without Perriman in the mix. The rest of the depth chart kind of slots in more, honestly, as number 3 guys. So it's going to be a matter of who can step up as the number 2 here. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Khalif Raymond, Quintez Cephas, all guys that could push for that number 2 spot that essentially I think is being vacated by Perriman being cut. I wouldn't be surprised to see him land somewhere. This is a guy, 500 yards receiving in each of the last 2 seasons, a combined 9 touchdowns, like not a huge impact guy, but could land as a 3, 4, 5, depending on the team. Injuries could obviously play a factor in where he lands as well.